Welcome to Within the Frame, where we bring the most pressing issues across the globe into focus. I'm Kim Mo-gyan. South Korea is doubling down on its AI future, and it's doing so with one of the most powerful allies in the industry. During his visit last week, Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang announced that Korea would receive 260,000 cutting-edge GPUs by 2030, a move that positions the country as a key player in the intensifying global AI race. And with the government tripling its AI budget and companies moving quickly to integrate next-generation infrastructure, the pace of change seems to be accelerating. But as expectations grow, so do concerns over how much control Korea will retain, how access will be shared, and how shifting geopolitics could shape what comes next. So for a deeper discussion on this, we connect to Sung-Soo Eric Kim, founder and CEO of DataCrunch Global and adjunct professor of Yonsei Graduate School of Business. Good to see you, Professor.
Thank you for having me tonight.
And also joining us is Ashik Kudabaksh, assistant professor of software engineering at Rochester Institute of Technology. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you, too. So let's begin right away, first with Professor Kim. So like I've said last week, Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang visited Korea, and he pledged a massive supply of the company's latest GPUs. So for starters, Professor, can you explain for us, why is securing GPUs becoming such a high priority in today's AI arms race?
So just a couple of days ago, Jensen Huang had a big event in Korea. We were surprised to see that the tech giants Jensen Huang and Lee Jae-yong and Chung Hee-sun gathered together to have so-called TMEC in Korea to show the strong support and bonding of Nvidia to the Korean tech giants. And he also surprisingly announced that he will supply 260,000 GPUs to Korea over the 5 years. So I think that this is a very significant event because we really need those high-performing GPUs to plan out and to process and to execute our AI development plan. GPUs is at the center of AI chips and data centers. So having secured this 260,000 GPU is a significant event for the Korea AI scene.
Right, so that latest deal definitely puts the scale of this into focus. Now, let's also take a look at NVIDIA's global strategy. So Jensen Huang had previously prioritized Taiwan with early GPU deliveries to drive AI-led manufacturing innovation. But Professor Kudabaksh, why do you think Korea is now being named as a core partner? And also tell us about your view on how promising is Korea's AI industry on this global stage.
I think what we are seeing is NVIDIA broadening its strategic footprint across Asia. Jensen Huang's early focus on Taiwan made sense given its unmatched semiconductor strength. Korea, however, brings something very different but equally powerful, a complete AI ecosystem. You have global players like Samsung, SK, and Hyundai, who are not only technology leaders, but also pioneers in advanced manufacturing, mobility, communication, and infrastructure. And they have both the scale and the appetite to integrate AI deeply into every layer of their operations. And what also stands out is Korea's research depth. There is a dense network of great universities and research institutes, and some of my very best students are actually from Korea. So Korea already has all the ingredients of an AI superpower: strong industry, strong academia, and strong national resolve. If it continues on its current trajectory, Korea won't just compete in the global AI race. It will help define where that race goes next.
So it's definitely a very promising news that we're hearing. So this deepening collaboration between NVIDIA and South Korea, how much do you think this could shape or shift the global AI industry's landscape, Professor Kudabaksh?
As I already said, that you need three key ingredients for AI success: data, compute, and talent. Korea already has an exceptional talent pool, but this new surge in compute capacity that could have a transformative impact across several critical sectors, like from healthcare to manufacturing to mobility. My own research focuses on large language models, and we have seen how rapidly this field is evolving. Just a few months ago, we had DeepSeek from China, a foundation model with capabilities almost comparable to ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude. And I believe that Korea is very well positioned to develop models of that caliber in the near future. But Korea's potential goes far beyond building systems that can talk. With world-leading innovators like Samsung and Hyundai, Korea has the ability to integrate AI into the physical world, revolutionizing precision manufacturing, autonomous mobility, and even healthcare technologies. In short, this collaboration with Nvidia, it just isn't about boosting computing power. It's about accelerating Korea's move from being an adapter of AI to being one of its global architects.
Right. And as a Korean citizen myself, I'll be looking forward to the promising future of the AI development in the country, as you said. Now, let's also touch upon the industry impact of this. So major companies like Hyundai, SK Hynix, and Naver are now securing large GPU reserves. Professor Kim, what kinds of changes should we expect in AI deployment across Korea's automotive, semiconductor, and also digital platform sectors?
So we first have to understand the significance of having provided this NVIDIA GPUs. So if you think about the COVID situation, we had a hard time securing vaccines at that time. So as an analogy, you can consider GPUs as a vital, computing chip for the development of AI. Korea has a lot to catch up with global tech leading AI standards, but in order to catch up, we need to have these GPUs to do the AI research and training, learning, etc. And without even having a forecast of how many GPUs we will have, it's really hard to build the AI strategy and roadmap of what these companies are going to do. So having secured at least understanding that we will have these GPUs, companies can more confidently build up on their AI strategy. Hyundai is working on smart automobiles, and Naver is working on their large language models. SK Hynix, they're working on manufacturing AI, device level AI, edge AI, et cetera, et cetera. And so we really need these GPUs to do the basic planning. So this is not just about advancing AI. In order to just do the basic planning, we needed these GPUs, and having secured these GPUs as a promise is a significant event as a long-term planning on the AI strategy of each of these industry sectors.
Right, so these GPUs could act as a stepping stone towards sector-wide transformation moving forward. So with regards to infrastructure now, so Samsung and SK are expected to build AI factories in partnership with Nvidia. Professor Kodabaksh, how is AI factory model different from traditional AI infrastructure? And also, could this initiative actually go beyond data centers to transform the industrial framework itself?
So AI infrastructure is basically the foundation, like the chips, the data centers, the cloud platforms that make it possible to build or run AI models. AI factories, on the other hand, are what you build on top of that foundation. They're organized systems that take all the computing power and turn it into useful AI products. For example, creating digital twins that can transform healthcare through organ simulations or precision robotic surgery. To understand why this is transformative, it helps to look at what kind of intelligence these systems are aiming for. A large language model like ChatGPT, it predicts the next word in a sentence. A world model predicts what is going to happen next in reality, like how a ball might roll or how people might react to an event. So in short, language models learn from words and world models learn from experience. That's why ChatGPT can write a poem or answer a question, but it cannot drive a car. Self-driving cars need a world model to understand and anticipate how the world works and how the world moves around them. So when we talk about AI factories, we are really talking about the next state, moving from just storing and processing data to actually producing AI systems that can interact with and reshape the real world. And as these digital systems fuse with traditional industries, we are likely to see a transformative leap in industrial efficiency, productivity, and innovation.
Right, so we're definitely seeing a lot of changes and involvement in terms of development, but some people are cautious right here. So some people warn that relying heavily on Nvidia's hardware and also software ecosystem could actually lead to too much dependency in terms of technology. So Professor Kim, what's the best way for Korea to manage this risk and strike a sustainable balance?
So if you're talking about the semiconductor industry, we're really strong in memory chips and we want to catch up on logic chips. But if you ask a question of whether there's an alternative to the Nvidia ecosystem, we don't have an alternative at this moment. Nvidia is a monopoly, and that's just the reality that we have to understand. Maybe in decades or maybe at some time, we might be able to manufacture Nvidia grade level GPUs, but right now that's a really unrealistic discussion. Then what should we do in this kind of situation where Nvidia sets the design standards and TSMC does the foundry, SK Hynix is only providing the HBMs to Nvidia, and TSMC then again does the packaging. I think setting the technological standards is very important. So I would like to emphasize again, technological standards, because according to which kind of technological standards there are, some companies can meet those standards and some companies cannot meet those standards. So technological standards become an entry barrier itself for other companies to enter this semiconductor supply chain. So current companies, SK Hynix and Samsung Electronics should jointly design the technological standard with NVIDIA and maybe also with TSMC so that we can, develop this technology together and grow in this ecosystem. I think that is the best strategy to leverage the NVIDIA ecosystem. Of course, we have to be dependent, but in order to secure our position, collaborate with each other to co-develop the technological standard to lead this industry is very important, in my opinion.
Right, a very important point that you've mentioned, raising technological standards in parallel with NVIDIA through cooperation. That's a very important point. Now, let's address another criticism, which is that the security GPUs are actually being distributed mainly to only large conglomerates. Professor Kim, do you think that's a fair concern, and what could help ensure startups and SMEs and small firms to also have access to these opportunities?
So it's a question of how we're going to drive innovation. Are you going to drive innovation with through conglomerates which have massive capital and resources, or are we also going to bet on startups that are very agile and can come up with creative ideas, have the passion to drive innovation, and maybe accidentally will show breakthrough? So in my opinion, I don't think that's really healthy to concentrate on these precious computing assets. It's not only industry assets, it's national assets to large conglomerates. We should set a quota for small and medium companies that are promising. We don't want to waste these chips, of course. So we should, distribute these chips allocated to a promising startup or small medium enterprise that we believe that could make a technological breakthrough if they have these chips as a resource. So the government should really think about how they're going to distribute these national assets, industry assets across the ecosystem so that we achieve our goal that we want to become a AI giant in the world. The Lee administration is very ambitiously saying that we will be the third biggest AI country in the world. Then how do you do that? Wise distribution, allocation of assets and resources throughout the ecosystem and industry supply chain.
Definitely. So access shouldn't only be stopped at the top of the pyramid. It should be allocated well. Now, speaking of the Lee administration, President Lee has proposed tripling Korea's AI budget to 10.1 trillion won in the next year's plan. So beyond the size of the budget itself, what are the most urgent foundational challenges Korea must address to enhance AI competitiveness, Professor Kim?
I think that's really bright that the Korean government is really taking care of this AI industry and willing to spend more budgets on this industry. But if we think about why our AI industry was behind the global standards, of course, not having Nvidia GPUs might be one of the reasons, but that's not the only reason. We have our fundamental problems that we have to take care of. For example, we need more manpower, great manpower. We have very, very smart people in Korea, but we need more people to devote into the AI industry. And how do we cultivate those AI experts throughout our higher education system is a big question and a very important topic that we have to think about. So how do we cultivate our human skills is a big topic. And also we have to be very realistic in order to drive sovereign AI. We're talking about building AI chips and data centers, right? But where do we find the energy, electricity to drive AI? So AI development is the same word as electricity right now, because without electricity, we cannot run those data centers. So our energy mix has to be revisited, tailored to the AI development plan. And we also need social agreement on deregulating some laws that are restricting AI development. For example, our privacy law is too strict. We can't really do anything with individual data when it comes to AI development of the privacy data. Then it's a question of, are we going to give a way that if it's a research purpose, we're going to be a little bit easy on these privacy laws. We need a lot of social agreement and also a discussion in the Congress of how to support the AI industry itself. It's not only about chips, it's not only about money. We need people, we need energy, we need deregulation to have these AI technology really see results. And more importantly, we have to build an ecosystem to connect government, industry, and academia, and not only domestically, internationally as well. So we have a lot of homework to do, and I hope that this 10.1 trillion Korean won can be a stepping stone to really think about those homeworks in a pragmatic approach and come with keen solutions.
Let's definitely hope for that. What about Professor Kurabaksh? Do you have anything to add on how South Korea could, further advance and secure AI competitiveness?
How fast it can advance and secure AI, I think that our lab has been focusing on AI safety for quite some time, And our research has revealed just how important it is to understand AI's limitations. In some of our recent studies that we found, there are a lot of issues in large language model outputs that they can have very anti-Semitic, racist, or misogynistic overtones, or they can hallucinate very basic facts or show undue agreement when the users are wrong. So as AI continues to grow, it will also reveal new and unexpected ways it can fail. So understanding those failure modes and building systems that are robust and transparent and self-aware, that will be critical to ensure we have a safe transition into an AI-powered society. And Korea already has an extraordinary pool of talent, but I mean, Dr. Kim said that we probably need more. And they have the resource base also coming soon. So the next step, I believe that it is to pair that innovation with introspection to build not just like faster or larger AI, but trustworthy AI. Sustainable leadership in AI will belong to the countries that make safety, ethics, and responsibility their core competitive advantage.
Right, definitely. A very powerful note to conclude our discussion tonight. Thank you so much for your insights, Professor Kodabaksh.
Thank you.
And Professor Kim, of course, we really appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me.
And that'll be all from us on Within the Frame tonight. Be sure to tune in again next time as we continue to explore the stories that matter. Till then, stay informed and engaged.